Hi, I'm Nay from Nay Makes, and this tutorial is how to make the moss stitch rectangle. I've been working at these rectangle moss stitch and thought I would give you guys a quick show on how I made them. It's pretty simple. It's the same really as the moss stitch square that I have as a tutorial already, but with an extra centre panel to make it a rectangle. These have been made up with my Scrapcake yarns that I make for my shop at Nay Makes at Etsy. You can buy these for any projects that you like, and for this project I've just made up simply following the Scrapcake lots of rectangles and join them all together on the last row. Okay, so for this tutorial I'm going to use some Aran yarn just because it's nice and thick and you'd be able to see it easier on the camera, and I'm using a 5mm hook. So for the rectangle shape I suggest chaining multiples of 2 to get however long you want your rectangle in length, and for this tutorial I will work up a chain of 8, which is what I've used on my squares rectangles I previously showed you. So go ahead and chain your multiples of 2, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my 8 chains, 2, 4, 6, 8. I will be working in US terms, so single crochets and chain 1 are the repeats for the moss stitch. So in your chain we will skip this very first stitch at the top and work a single crochet into the second chain down from the hook. You can go in either one of the strands, or for strength you can go into 2, it really doesn't matter. So work a single crochet into the second chain down and chain 2. Work another single crochet into the same chain. Make sure it's nice and tight, so we don't want loose single crochets. And that single crochet, chain 2, single crochet is your first corner. Now for the side, chain 1. Let's get some more yarn out of this cake. Chain 1. Take a look at your chain and work out behind this single crochet here. Is that strand there? That is our next chain along. Skip this chain and work a single crochet into the next chain. Again, 1 or 2 strands. It doesn't really matter which. Make a single crochet and chain 1. Again, directly behind this last chain is the next chain. Skip that one, work a single crochet into the next chain. And again, chain 1. We have 2 chains left, and in your last chain, if you've worked your single crochet chain 1s all the way down your chain, depending on how many chains you've chained, the last chain down, work a single crochet, chain 2, another single crochet, chain 2 again, and another single crochet. So you've now worked your end corners. There's one corner there in that chain 2 space and another corner there for that chain 2 space. Chain 1. Now we are working along the back side of the chain that we've just worked through. There's the chain there. all the way down, and if you can see, we have gaps between each of the single crochets we worked before. That will indicate what chain we need to work into next. So this is the chain that we need to skip. This one here, where we've got the single crochet worked into, work a single crochet into there, chain one, and then look again along the chain. There's the next chain that has a single crochet in, there's the chain one we skipped, work a single crochet in there. So effectively we have 2 single crochets in the same chain. Chain one, we're now at the beginning, which is the end of the chain for this side, but it's the first chain we worked into at the beginning. Work a single crochet into the same space as your first single crochet you made right at the very beginning. Chain 2 and slip stitch into the top of the very first single crochet at the beginning, like so, and that is closed off our first round. For round 2, chain 1 and turn to get the back view of our first row. Pull it apart, you can see the chain 2 corner space right next to our slip stitch. Work a single crochet into that next chain 2 space. Chain 2 again to make our next first corner, single crochet into that same space. That's our first corner made. Chain 1. Now we're working into the chain spaces, like on any moss stitch we work our single crochets into all of these chain spaces, including all the tiny thread. There we go, let's pull that back out. Chain 1, single crochet into the next chain space, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain space, and so on all the way down your side until you reach the next chain 2 corner. Into the chain 2 corner, work another corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Now we have our single crochet on the side and our next chain 2 corner. Chain 1 to reach across to the next chain 2 corner and work another corner. Single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and work again down the next side as you would a moss stitch. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. Our next corner is a chain 2 corner, so work another corner. Single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Chain 1 before we close this round and slip stitch into our first single crochet made of the round to close off that round 2, and there we have round 2. So again we will work each row exactly the same. Chain 1 and turn, chain 1 space directly after the slip stitch, single crochet, chain 1. Then it's the corner, chain 2 space, so we work another corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1. Working again the moss stitch down the side to our next chain 2 corner space, work another corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1. Then we have our first side to work into, single crochet into that chain 1 space, chain 1, and then our next corner. So the sides will grow as we work up each row. And for my squares I've done previously, I've worked 10 rows per, well, it's not squares, it's a rectangle. I've worked 10 rows per rectangle, and on the final row I'll finish this round and show you. Slip stitch into the first one, and there's 3 rows. So in the rectangles I've made up here, I've worked 10 rounds, and then on the 10th one I've joined it to the next one. With every chain 1 I have looped, so if you hold them both together, I've looped each chain 1 into the chain 1 space of the opposite side, so that the chain 1 is a slip stitch. I hope that has all made sense to you and you've enjoyed my rectangle moss stitch tutorial. Give me a thumbs up and a comment and say hello. Please subscribe to my channel. I hope to do another moss stitch tutorial. I have a triangle one to go, and possibly a hexagon maybe, and a circular one. So there we go. Thank you very much.